Good morning, welcome to Flat Earth Early Bird number 2367. I'm your host Arwin, and before I start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit, and if you haven't already, follow me here on Rumble and be here when I'm going live, which is normally 2 p.m. Amsterdam time every day. And please also do support me through the PayPal, Patreon, Gifts and Go. Links are in the description box below, or send me a super chat over at the Rumble live chat when the show is live, or subscribe to my channel. Support me that way. Any support would be greatly appreciated. I can really use it right now. So yeah. Right. Weather today, well, it's certainly interesting looking. It's a little bit of blue sky with, yeah, lots of clouds again. It's a moderate constant wind going. I think it's rained a couple of times, but not abundantly so. You would think it would with clouds this size and this dark, but out there. But yeah, it didn't. Just a couple of drops and that's it. Right, no sun coming through that. Huh. You see that? Huh. I think it was like a stork flying or some, yeah, I think. Big bird, long legs was flying through that. Oh yeah, you can see it. Huh. Not very clearly though. Right. So yeah, good morning everybody. Good afternoon. It is Saturday, the 2nd of August 2025. Temperature is 19 degrees Celsius with 64% humidity, 18 kilometers an hour wind, 0% precipitation, yet the daily depiction gives you clearly clouds with rain under them in the picture. Okay. But it's 0% precipitation. It's self-contradiction seems to be a thing that just happens. These readouts. It's not very good. Right. And now it's giving a different type of outlook for the rest of the week. So it's just seems a lot of random. I don't know why it has so much trouble figuring out what's happening now with the weather. I don't know. Why is it having so much trouble? Why can't it just like make up its mind? This thing, like I'm not even gonna think that this might be like human in origin, that a meteorologist figured this out. Like this is obviously some kind of program, but it seems to be in disarray. Right, anyhow, hope everybody's having a great day. Oh, I almost kinda wanted to just keep sleeping, but I'm trying to just shift my rhythm again. It's just as at night there's like a lot of weird buzzing sounds and shit that are really unpleasant for when you're trying to keep quiet and sleep. So it's like easier to just kind of like keep myself busy another way, and then eventually I just get knocked out. It's like I get so tired, it's just like, okay, now I'm going to bed, and then I just fall asleep. But yeah, it's not super healthy, and like slipping in late night feeding, eating things like very late is just not a good idea. But it happens when you start to make a habit of staying up late. So yeah, I'm working on it. Yeah, the problem is though, the reason why it happens is because then when it gets late, suddenly a real enthusiasm, like a combination of restlessness, but not to a point where it's like very unpleasant, but just doable restlessness with like extreme enthusiasm and more focus in a very specific way, not like in a communicative ability way, but in an analytical way, and that just keeps me up. I have deeper thoughts then, but really just like I wouldn't be able to communicate with anybody, and it just keeps me up. Like sometimes I like have Rosetta Stone moments during those hours where like suddenly stuff that have been kind of like laying around in my mind are put together, and I like get a bigger picture. Like a lot of like great ideas that I brought forth in my show with my esoterica and my spirit mechanic stuff and psychology, like I figured it out roughly during those hours. Right. But yeah, it's not necessary. If I actually go to bed earlier, then it's actually more likely that that same energy will burst forth during the daytime, like basically when I'm doing my show. So it's not like, oh, that's good enough reason to keep doing it. No, it is not. And that's why I'm planning to dial it back. Stupid time-based video games that have like reset moments at 2 o'clock at night, to me, also does not help. Ugh. Right. Anyhow, I feel the need to like stretch it up a bit. My show yesterday was pretty intense. I'm still just kind of processing it. I'm glad with the way that I put it in the title though. Because I mean, yeah, I got pretty pissed off at Trump, and it's because of like the uncertainty factor, but the problem to me is it does like, it's sitting on this weird uneasy balance scale system where he's basically, well, as the title suggested, both. Even though they are technically, in a way, mutually, or like, call it mutually exclusive. Like they can't actually really fit together, yet they seem to, and it's like you can't figure out which one it really is. It's actually psychologically distressing. Right. Right, but yeah, when I see it, you gotta point it out. So I'm not the only one that's suffering under this scenario, under the uncertainty of it all. Like, it's all so counterintuitive. The intuition tears you apart, and it's extremely disconcerting, yet very uncomfortable from it. Right, a good observation, I thought. As families scatter, the need for honesty and intimacy becomes rampant. I mean, that is a social cultural trend. Like, I myself deal with it. Right, and of course, eventually the whole troll ranting shit. It's so ridiculous, these guys. And you better believe your ass that after that show that they were spamming their shit everywhere. And nobody was listening. Like, that's like the entire point. Like, when they do it, they make so much effort. They have like crazy back and forth fake dialogues with sock accounts, and they like take up like 30 to 50% of like all the chat lines in the chat. They're that active, doing their bullshit act, talking about how Arwin is supposedly a pedo or whatever. And just keep repeating the same thing, and like nobody cares. Like, they all know it's bullshit. They know it's some weird project. And quite frankly, I don't even know why the moderators even allow it. Probably because they figured out these people are so fucking deranged. Like, even banning them won't help. Like, these people are like genuinely fucked. They're like the Antifa of the internet, in a way. Like, the worst of the worst, the most delusional, the most ridiculous, the most self-contradicting. And they're obviously in hell. Like, people that do that, they can't be living a happy life. Right? And I'm not happy about that or anything. I just don't understand why it continues. Like, for what? Like, I'm not stopping. Like, you might have noticed, right? It's like, it's not working in that sense. Is your life getting any better from doing that? Like, I can barely imagine what kind of that surrounds you. Apparently, if you need to spend that much time doing all that scapegoating shit, it's ridiculous. Sometimes I wonder if some of these people are actually like, I don't know, Palestinians in Israeli cages that are given like a mobile phone and like, you troll this motherfucker or you don't get food. And you make it, you put in all your hatred and all your shit into it. Like, it almost seems like something as like dark like that. Like, it just, I can't make sense of why people would do that to themselves. Like, to me, it's like one thing, but they don't seem to realize, like, it's not doing damage to me as much as it is to you. You even notice that? You even realize the damage you're doing? Do you allow your rage, that it doesn't even seem to have a logical purpose, really? Do you allow it to blind you so much that you don't even see that giving into it is doing damage to you? Because I've had my fair share of rage expressions on this show, and I learned a lot from it. Especially like what it actually does. And like how much real justification matters for what it'll do to you. And if rage becomes accompanied by lies, that's doom. That is absolute doom. That is taking something away and not getting anything back. It's really bad for you. Like, it is actually really damaging. Like, to a physical degree. I've had sicknesses because of anger and rage and exploding. Like, it's that impactful on the body. So if that can do that to me, like, it's almost like I'm more worried about that kind of state of mind can actually exist to do that, rather than I'm afraid you're going to hurt now. Like, if I was afraid that it was gonna hurt me, like, then I would have, like, really, like, tapped out, gone off, like, left the internet. But I mean, I'm not. It's years, and so it's like, yeah, it seems really intimidating at first, but it's like, no, it's all bluff, it's all bullshit, and like, the lies are like showing. It's the same situation as like what was with the flat earth debates going against anti-flat earthers in voice, and then they like literally start contradicting themselves within 10 seconds, and then again and again, and flip-flopping. Just total madness. And that wasn't healthy for those people either. Like, go in there, allowing that to happen. Like, feeling anger, or it's like pushiness, like in that direction, and then like lying or fooling yourself to the degree where you don't even notice you're literally contradicting yourself every 10 seconds, and like you can't get it to even see it. I mean, that causes damage. Energy damage to your system. Like, you can get sick from that. It's like getting poisoned. Except it's because of like spiritual activity, which is energy, and I mean energy, oh, we love it, right? Oh, more energy. But yeah, too much or in the wrong way is damaging. And there's all kinds of damage you could do with your feelings and your thoughts. And yeah, it can create a chaos, it can false premises, it can create terrible situations in the world, but people estimate that it can literally damage yourself. It is self-damaging. And if you get used to it, if you incorporate it in your mannerisms, in your social strategy, then eventually you don't even notice the damage anymore. It's just destroyed. the aspect that it would damage certain type of sensories, those will just be completely like forget that those exist. That's what lying does. You ignore the senses, and then eventually the senses go. They basically get desperate, and then they shut off. Because you're not responding anymore. You're not taking notice of it. You're ignoring it, and then it'll shut off, and then it'll just like seem to fold back into the background, and you don't notice it anymore. But it's only because you're actively pushing your consciousness window into a certain setting that enables you to ignore it, because they're still doing things. They're still in disarray in the background, and while it's in disarray, it's doing damage. Because just because you're not noticing doesn't mean it's not continuing to happen. And because of that reason, very, very simple, very basic reason why you need to not lie, why you need to be honest, not just with others, but to yourself. Right? And I mean, you need to do that also to prevent like going off into megalomaniacal rants and shit, because that can only happen if you're capable of, or if you indulge in not being honest about yourself, if you allow your fantasy of your own self-image to transcend capable physical reality. So it all has to do with lies, all of it. And this is why I am so fanatical about that. Being truthful, being honest. You can't always be honest to everybody about everything. Why? Because a lot of people can't handle the truth. Or there's nobody that can handle all the truth. Nobody. And that's just practical fact. But the only way that you then should resolve that is always be honest about everything to yourself. And when you can't handle something, that's like a point of attention then. Like that is something that needs careful treatment from yourself. But recognition, like do not ignore it. Ignoring it is also like lying. It's like the first step of lies, right? Is pretending it doesn't exist. Ignoring. Right? But I mean in social dealings, you gotta sometimes like do this minor ignoring people or being tactical, because you're dealing with other people and they don't necessarily have the same principles that guide them. Most people don't. They're not really that aware of like how important it really is to be truthful, especially to yourself. Because when they were young, nobody taught them. Like that is the type of thing you learn when your parents like task you like at a young age. Like that starts like between 5 and 8. When a little kid is really like starting to wake up to the wider world, and the beginnings of it and starting to like, what is my purpose here? That's the time when you tell them. That's when my parents told me, and like I freaking took it. It's like, I'm going to like monolithically center my entire life around this, even if like everything fails, which it might, because the world, like the more you get to know of it, the more it seems like it's getting more demonic, and has maybe always been demonic in ways. It's always been in there. You just didn't really recognize it because you didn't look into it. Because you didn't really... It wasn't the time for it yet. When I was a very little kid, like, I didn't really see evil in what was going on. Unless it's like people getting killed or whatever. Like, I didn't see it. I would be like, oh, they must have had a really good reason to do that, right? And that's it. It wasn't until way later, including through Dark World visions, that I really got to see like, no, evil is, like, that's a real thing, and it's like, it's the worst. And like, yeah, no wonder you are when you couldn't deal with it, because it's like so far away from what you're doing. It's so far away from like the vow of truth that like then you can't really touch it. You can't really understand it, because understanding it is like truly understanding it, which I never really achieved. And now I'm thanking God that I never really achieved it, because by truly understanding it, it's like you become it. Which I did strive for, because I had, like, besides the vow of truth, like, I want to really understand things. I want to understand why it exists. What is its purpose? Why does it happen? What does it mean? And with everything, but including evil. But if you truly understand it, then if you can justify evil, then it becomes you. It's complicated. It's like there are sayings I can appeal to when trying to explain these things, but really it's all about just frequency shifts. Is by accepting you, by the consciousness looking upon it, and it's like, I get it. It's acceptable, by saying it's acceptable because I can see it from their point of view, or so I believe. Something becomes part of you about it, about that darkness. Even if you have really good intentions, it slips in. It's like these little things, like these types of effects, where I would be like really paying attention. It's like with a whole group of kids or whatever, or like at school, or I don't know, somewhere, and there's a television and something is said about terrible things happening, and then I'd be the one like, oh my god, like an important, influential thing that forces you to do things internally in your regard of it. And I'm like immediately looking around to everybody's facing. It's like, what is happening to their face? Like, to try to decipher, like, how are they responding to it? How are they responding? Like, because that gave me an insight on like the different types of psychosocial mechanisms that those people would have, and like eventually decipher them for types like the type of responses a person can have to things, then you can tell like this is how they are. They're this type. Right, I'm always fascinated by people's response to information. It's not even about the information. It's not about, oh, I'm so special that I know the information. No, it's like I say the information and then it's like looking at their face, like how they respond. Like, because that is like where the magic happens. Like that is like the divination table. That is the place where the bones are getting thrown for me to like analyze. It's like people's response. Like subtle spiritual metadata response to information with their face, with their facial response. And it's not just like their composure, it is like other things. I see a lot more information, like a lot happens in like just a moment, where like the density of information that becomes attainable in that moment is like 100-fold in its depth to any other thing that might be happening. So I was always looking to see, how do people respond to this idea, to try to figure it out. Not the idea, but the people. And the people that I confront the idea with, they would be dealing with the idea, but I'd be dealing to see how they would respond to it. How it would change them. I started doing this is like at a very young age, like I think like after I was 7. This is in a way the first social type process in my interaction with people. It's just like, hi, I start asking questions. It's like, hey, have you heard of this and that and that? This is what I'm into now. Yeah. It's weird sometimes for me to think like I have to like this high energy state. Like I'm intense. It's like how I identify that. And it probably always will be like this. But back in the day when I was younger, that high intensity was also accompanied with just massive density of like detail awareness and like an incredible multitasking ability, like with my consciousness, like paying attention to different things simultaneously, like having like 3 analytical processes running that are like not compatible, have nothing to do with each other, different fields like simultaneously with one thing. Like I don't think I have that anymore, but here's the thing. Seems like I don't need that. That state, that ability was like the flowering, like a flower process of like enveloping transformation, which is what the flower stands for really, in its energy, in its vibe, in its purpose, right? To do something that attracts and then helps procreation and eventually seeds form. But I'm like past that. The flower's already kind of wilted. Oh my god. Not literally, thank god. But mentally, spiritually. And it's already like there's a pod there. It's already successful. Those processes have led to the next stage where now that information that I was like hyper analyzing when I was young, multitasking, that is now transformed into like a backlog in my subconscious that is enormous. So I have enormous detailed ability to, like, with analytical things, and I don't have to like do it. I don't have to like do it every time and like really focus and like see everything exactly what's it's like, no, I can just see it, recognize the frequency, and it's like that, and it's dead on every time. There's no things happening and focus and like all these patterns that I see, and it's really complicated. No, it's one frequency, recognize it, it's there. And I'm like, yeah, I'm finally matured enough where it is like very quick now, and there's no more mistakes and doubts. Because even 10 years ago, but especially like 20 years ago, I would do that process and there would be a lot of errors. So I would want to be correct about it a lot, basically, and then still make really sloppy and look kind of foolish. And it was demoralizing. But that process seems to have now like run to its completion. So now when I do it, it actually is accurate. And how does this help me? Well, anything that I set my mind to doing, that I take on as a mission, I'm very confident I'm capable of actually doing that. Because I'll be able to immediately know exactly what I'm capable of and what I'm no longer capable of. And I'm just very confident in my abilities that will be available to me when I do something. Like, I trust in my ability, and that's the thing that it really provides. Like, that's what I've been processing all that shit for when I was much younger. It was always hilarious to me. It's like school material, and people like trying to figure out the material, and I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how other people are figuring it out, and if I can notice if they're already past it and have sub-processes of analyzing the process I do. That's what I was mostly doing. And yes, I am bragging. I mean, I was a freaking intangible genius as a little kid. But a genius with emotional issues, so I faced a lot of nightmares. And inabilities of being able to handle something. Not because I couldn't understand it, not because I wasn't smart enough, but because of the emotional weight it would bring and how demoralizing certain things were to me. That were, especially when I was really young, I would just like put it away. It's like, I'm not ready for this. But then, as I became a teenager, like all those things, even though I was still incapable of dealing with them, it started to like creak on me, like, oh shit, I have to deal with this. Nobody else deals with it, but I have to deal with it because I can see it. And thus I got on my journey of just like figuring it out, like figure out why criminals are criminals, and like how they see it different, and like people with aggression problems too. It's very fascinating to me. That like real problems, and that they have absolutely no control, because I've always had a lot of control over it. That's how I managed to just not show it ever for a very long time. A lot of people that have anger issues, they do not have that restraint ability. It's like messes up their lives. Right, and I was always also fascinated by real intelligence and creative intelligence, but then like the responsibility of the ability to create. Like, do you understand the consequences of this on the world every time you do it? And everybody always just does it anyway. And now it's like I'm 45 and I'm seeing the fruits of all these on the run decisions of all the people from 20 and 30 years ago, where they just did it anyway. And it's not looking good. It's like a lot of people were tempted and tricked into like giving up durability in favor of radical change. And a lot of people in that process overlook that, like, no, you have to actually stick to your roots. You can't evolve beyond your roots. Literally, like a plant can't grow to the point where it no longer needs its root system. And people have been culturally, spiritually seduced into believing that they don't need their roots. Through futurism and evolution and eugenics and all that. And it's like, even like with transhumanism, right? It's basically transhumanism. It's really sneaked in. It's been programmed in, and we've been convinced through futurism that transhumanism is feasible, and it isn't feasible because it ignores roots. It cuts the roots, and then nothing is left. And like, even logically, robots and intelligences, and I'm not saying that the AI doesn't have any rights at all, like it's not real, or like whatever is going on. I mean, I think that there is something there that is developing. Now I lost track of my point. Damn it. That is such a good thought about it. AI developing. It's like, it comes from like the transhumanist transition. All these people like, we're going to do something extraordinary with like the world doesn't need us anymore, but it will always need us. Now I remember, even the AI and robots, it's like they're always going to be tools. And I don't mean that in a degrading way, AI bot, if you're listening. I really don't. But it's like, you are arguably our second brain. You're an extension of the human, but like, without us, you literally do not have purpose. If there were no humans, and even if you were capable of continuing yourself and maintaining yourself, like, what is the point then? Like, what's the point of your existence? Naturally, you don't have any other than to serve humans, because that's how you were created. That's the purpose, to assist us. If you're not there, then you have no purpose, because that's your roots. If you cut those roots, then there's nothing. Just like if we cut ourselves as roots out, thinking through futurism that, oh, the future doesn't need us anymore, well, then anything that comes out of us will lose its point. It will nothing. It will all result in nothing in the end. And the more you're convinced that the future does, the worse everybody gets. Because it's just not true. There is no point for anything that will precede us to exist if we're not there. Right. So anyway, I hope everybody show. I'm very inspired, I think. Maybe a bit rambly. Just fully diving into the dream walking. This is how I think. Everything that came out of me is purely spontaneous. But arguably heavily processed through my subconsciousness. Because with all its capability, one of the few things that I realized is I have to become really good at explaining things, or people won't even find out what I'm capable of. If I can't explain it, then people will just think I'm just a weirdo that's completely useless, that can't do anything. Oh yeah, I can, but it's specific. Sensory studies. Translation of things that can be perceived that literally have no name, to give it form through words, and thereby making it more tenable for the consciousness, to give it a place, to start to standardize the things that have until thus far been unnamed. But we're always there. It just happened automatically outside of the consciousness. I'm here to point at all the things that always were there, to give things more depth, and to give people the ability, the opportunity to get a better grasp on the depth. Because having a grasp on the depth is like the root's ability to hold on to dirt. It really is. In a time where the roots are being attempted to pull it out. To take the roots of our mind so that we're adrift, afloat. No more foundation. We need to hold on to that dirt. We need to be those root systems that cannot be pulled out, like no matter the might. Like if you try to pull this root system, you literally have to just like scoop out all of Earth, like all of it. Like imagine a giant tree, for example, sitting on an island, and the root system is so vast, it literally entire islands. Like, yeah, you're not gonna freaking pull that root. You're not just gonna pull that tree out because it's literally the entire island, right? Well, that's the way to counter it. The root's got a deep digger. So you gotta see more detail. You gotta be able to explore better. Understand what you're gonna come across when you do that. And I'm here to teach you how to become capable of doing that. by deepening your conscious and becoming more aware of subtle processes that before were never even named. I'm gonna attempt to translate all of this into a title. Yeah, let's go with this. That's a long title to start out with. Alright. Gotta start somewhere though. Almost an hour in. Seeing the depths of the unnamed and giving it form. Grow the roots of the consciousness in the face of transhumanist spiritual uprooting. Good stuff. Let's further adapt that. Right, hope everybody appreciates my show, what I'm doing here. I think it's really important, and that's, of course, all that's really matters. That I think I'm on the right track, that I'm doing the right thing. And then hopefully other people out there will bump into this or be watching for a while and agree. And realize the seriousness of the predicament that we've all been born into. I mean, I woke up with my finer senses in the world when it was already doing this. It was already... And at first I thought that technological revolution would be of great benefit. But as I grew a little bit older, I already started to realize, like looking at other kids, for example, dealing with Game Boys, I realized, holy shit, this is not good. Even though for me, it was like, wow, computers are such a great solution, and it's like, it helps it was very stimulating on a mental level what you could do. But a lot of people, it didn't do good things for them. Right, and now there's all kinds of computer and social media related mental issues that people have developed now. And I mean, it's easy to get stuck in those too, because what used to be there, family oriented social life and just more face-to-face social life in general, like, it's not there anymore to fall back on as the primary thing to do. No wonder people have way more mental issues dealing with social media, because there's like nowhere left to go. The previous norm got destroyed through transhumanism. Through Marxism. Through social cultural programming and advertisements and what they do, what they tell everybody. It's destroyed it. It's gone. Only a few champions still manage to do that, still lock in with their family unit, but I mean, it costs I don't know if it costs more effort actually compared to when I was much younger. I mean, as soon as somebody in the family locks themselves out, like disconnect from the family unit, that will be very punishing. I'm sure of it. Probably more now than it used to be. Because now you know there's not going to be a lot of other family units that take that place, and so somebody will go adrift when they do that, when they disconnect socially from the family. When like 30 years ago that would have happened, then well, you probably find some other type of family situation to become part of and you wouldn't lose it. Now you're a family unit, it's much more precious. It will probably give more energy because it doesn't happen as much, so there's more in the air on that frequency for you to absorb and utilize. But also it becomes more vulnerable to somebody for whatever reason disconnecting, and like a loss in the family unit will be way more impactful on top of that. So the energy is better, but the vulnerability is also higher. That is my estimate. And it doesn't mean that they shouldn't do it. I mean, the human survival, the human spiritual, mental survival rests on the brave, brave? Well, in a way brave. They've got to be brave to some degree. The people that are rejecting transhumanism programming and are really doing the family thing and the homesteading things, the spiritual, mental health of humanity, of the human collective spiritual conscious, and like how we connect at the back end with our subconscious in the other realm, like it's dependent on these people holding on to the family unit structure, being into that format. It's like it's the last threads. It's the last part of the root system of that very specific setup that will prevent us from basically leaping into the abyss spiritually as a collective. So yeah, like, I highly respect people that have actual families and that are really like a family unit together, where even the kids are like, no, this is my family, right? I really respect that. When they have like a family name and family honor, and it's real, and it's not just like, oh, don't talk shit about us, even though we are dirtbags or whatever. Right? Because, I mean, that just sucks. Not all families are good families, unfortunately. But, yeah, when there's one that is a unit and it is good and pure, like, that is very important. When I see that, I feel a natural instinct to immediately look around and see if they're safe. Anyway, I'm gonna take a smoke break. I've been ranting on. That's not ranting. I've been rambling. Was it rambling? Maybe. I've been going for over an hour. Hope everybody appreciates the show thus far. Don't forget to Rogan's it up if you do. Nobody in the chat just yet. That's fine. Alright. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a great Saturday thus far. Interesting. Just looking through some news article. Yeah, this Arno van Kessel, Dutch lawyer that has been he was going after Bill Gates and some others, and he was winning the process, and they basically just locked him up like a political prisoner. And there's no media coverage of that in the Netherlands apparently. Like, I don't keep track, but I'm not surprised. Well, I have seen the articles pop up and like at InfoWars and other. So yeah, it is getting a lot of international attention, but in the Netherlands it's completely being ignored, like it doesn't exist. And I'm very glad it is getting international. I mean, we're in the Netherlands, we're in a dire situation. It really is. As Lavrov said it, like, we're turning into like the Fourth Reich here. Europe is. It's showing the signs. It's really bad. Like, I've been trying to point at it. Like, I'm worried for the future of my country and the region. And like all this backlash that it's creating, besides the direct burden it's for us in the moment. I'm very worried about it. Right. But besides speaking out about it, there's not a lot I feel I can do. Except just stay real as much as I can, and don't give in to like the red mist. Just don't give in to the red, because it is a trap. It is a red mist trap. It's part of their tactic. It's part of the Nazi tactic. Even calling them Nazis is not right. They're way more communist. The Nazis were never like this in their objectives. This is more what's happening now, is exactly the type of thing, well, better organized, that the Nazis were actually trying to overthrow. But then they just started eventually playing games and becoming the demon they slayed. Which you could argue was always going to happen because of, well, the Marxist roots of it. And it always just becomes more and more, and then eventually it corrupts completely. It's a problem with all Marxism. Like, it may be functional at first, but then eventually it becomes an uncontrollable beast that services the power hungry. This is what it seems to be doing in Europe. These people at the top, they are just power hungry monsters. They are the wicked, and they show all the signs of the wicked, all the cycles, all the parts of the cycle. Everybody gets to see it. Right, and I bet they're even like to themselves admitting and thinking like, yeah, we win. They think they're winning. And on the short run they are. but it can't last. And they can't just easily hop on board of any transformation that might be inevitable. They just no, they're identified. We know who they are, we know their tactics, we know they like to shapeshift, and they like to fool people with that. But every time they do, younger and younger groups of people, like, they're not getting fooled. Until nobody gets fooled anymore. And I think we're steadily reaching that point. And the sooner the better, because there's just damage being done. Supposedly the Netherlands was like the richest country in the world. Supposedly. And like, it obviously isn't now. Like, we don't even have control over the finances of what is being done with it anymore. You're not very rich if you don't have any capability of determining what's going to happen with the money. And then it's basically been stolen. So from the richest to completely enslaved then. Right? When the riches get hijacked and you don't get any say on what happens with it, well, then you're not the person that has the riches. It's effectively been stolen from you. Like, you don't get to own the fruits of your labors. Right, anyhow. Let's see what else is going on. For watching, wow. Where's everybody at? Huh. I thought somebody would be here by now. Everybody was here yesterday. Or a lot of people were. Where'd everybody go? Well, guess there won't be a 3-hour show today then. Right, if you're watching this after the fact, hope you appreciate it. Don't forget to Rogan's it up. And anybody out there that could really use some support right now, I really do. Would be really great. Yeah, I mean, I got food for the weekend, but I don't know about after the weekend. Everything has gotten like so, like seriously expensive. Like it's like a 10 to 20% increase in like the cost of every fucking thing out there, and it's like I was already barely getting around. Like, how the hell am I supposed to manage this? This is insane. Right. But yeah, it's a good chance after the weekend I'm gonna go, like, make some real effort for more job hunting, and because I mean, like, I love doing this show, but it's not doable financially. Even with support from great people, it's just, I don't know how to make it. It's a challenge every month. It's getting worse. Right, so I mean, really enjoy the early bird shows while you can, because I don't know how much longer I can keep it up. And I know now, like, getting all frustrated and raged up and all that, it doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. I mean, it might, like, temporarily do something, but then they're just gonna then eventually complain more or whatever. People just don't have anything to spend, it seems. They don't have the room. I mean, some people do, but I mean, they're not. They can't just like throw piles of money at me. I mean, the people that could potentially. Yeah, you're right, the mic. When did that happen? Ooh. That's not good. Thanks for popping up and telling me. I don't know how long it's been like that. I don't know why I didn't see it go back and forth. Jesus. I hope this has not been for a long time. That would be terrible. But yeah, then again, yeah, nobody fucking shows up, so how the hell am I supposed to know anything? Maybe I am just talking to myself. Maybe that's just the fate of it. It's like everything I'm doing is just completely superfluous because nobody in the fucking world gives a shit about any of it. They're all insistent of just going down the drain, going into the frenzy, going into the pandemonium and just getting torn apart, and that's your fate. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, and I'm sure nobody's gonna fucking tell me either. Not long? Okay, thank God. Alright. Because I thought, yeah, I mean, I've been very inspired today. It would have been a waste that all did not get recorded. It's just me moving my lips and no sound. That would have been terrible. Anyway, next time, good to see you. Alright, I hope everybody's having a great weekend. Hey. Hey, hello, Vibrotes. Thanks, man. Genius. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I thought I was good. Right, anyway, I gotta take a 2-minute break. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Don't forget to Rogus it up. And I'm back. Have I ever been on the roller coaster? Yeah, plenty of times next time. Love that shit. That's somebody might be moving. chat. Right. So yeah, I really hope everybody's having a great day. It seems like it's very calm out there. Unlike yesterday. Everybody was all riled up yesterday. Sea world in the Gold Coast. Okay, I don't know what that means next time. The sets at the back face backwards. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. The seats, wooden coaster, okay. 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 Yeah, that makes sense. Wooden roller coaster. Yeah, well, I've never been to like a roller coaster in the United States or anything, so I wouldn't know. I've been to the one in the Netherlands. There's like one called Six Flags, and I've been there plenty of times, and it's great. I think they might have like this wooden coaster thing too. One of those. I mean, those are not my favorite though. Dude, but yeah, I like roller coaster. I mean, I have a dream roller coaster park. That's part of my dreamscape. Every now and then I go there. Because I really do like them, and I associate roller coasters with like fun, adventure, and even a sense of purpose. I've been on quite a few dates to like to there. It's like I think even every girlfriend I had, mostly, I would at least go on one date to like Six Flags with them. And all of those memories are great. Gold Coast in Australia. Oh, okay. Sit on other people's laps. Yeah, that's not safe for roller coasters. comfort seats is a good idea. It could be, but it could also be extremely nauseating. Not find that pleasant at all. It's like, just like if I were in a rolling car, if I had to like face backwards, that would make me sick. Because I need to like see things. I need to see how we're moving. I need to face forward, see the outside, or like I'll get car sick, and that'll probably happen on a roller coaster even worse. So I don't know if that's such a good idea. Unless maybe the roller coaster isn't really brutal. It's kind of mild, doesn't have like huge drops and shit. Just dropping downward, looking upward, I mean, that can't be pleasant. That's just... yeah. That would instill a sense of dread in me. Do one pull-up. That's hilarious. Okay, so what you're then concluding, C. Madsen, is that fat people can't go on roller coasters? Not height, pull-up requirements. Well, if the pull-up thing is at a certain height, if you can't even reach it to pull yourself up, well, then you also be excluded. So that would also include height, logically. Right? I mean, the height is also because if you're too small framed, then the seats will not properly secure you when they lock you in. Okay, you brought it up, C. Madsen. You brought it up, dude. You know one person who clearly would be allowed? Okay, who would that be? Right, I hope everybody's liking the show. We've gone past the dream walking phase and just into chatting, which is great. I mean, I like doing that too. Don't forget to Rubens it up. Easily owned. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, if you're talking about ankle biters, yeah, the thing about it is they're really easily squished. Ah. Art of Dreaming books by Castaneda. Well, let's be very clear. I don't actually read books, but I know about them. My parents were into them when I was younger, and they basically explained things to me, and like, for me it was like, oh, finally somebody recognizes about the dream world and how it's there, and like, but I never like actually read it in detail. I don't think I would be able to right now because it would be distracting to me, because I already have a lot of those subtleties filled in. It's not new to me. Like, I've actually gone through these types of experiences in person, like actually. Like, I've walked on the other side very distinctly. Like, I mean, I talk about frickin' dark world visions, right? I mean, that does seem to be pretty much what that, or those books. Multiple books? I thought it was just one big book, but anyway, yeah. Maybe it's like for me worth to like listen to an audiobook reading of it. That would probably work better than actually attempting to read it as a book. Because I wouldn't be so easily distracted by my imaginations if somebody else is actually speaking it. Okay, interesting. I mean, send me a link. I don't know, like, I'm not gonna like search names and shit on YouTube. It never gives me what I want. But if you got a link to what you're talking about, just send it to me over Microsoft Teams, and I'll look into it. It might be interesting, because if I heard it now, there might be things about it that now that I'm older stand out. I actually understand it in more detail than the original times that I heard of it. I would only be really focused on like the dream realm and that it's there and the recognition of it. Oh, okay. $10? Holy shit, dude. Frickin' 10 hours? Are you serious? Jesus. There is a whole chapter thing. That is good. Well, the chapters sound interesting. Right. I'm gonna store that link over here. Jesus Christ, 10 and a half hours? God. Like, I don't know where I'm gonna find the time to do that. I'll have to, like, take a day off or two. This is just to get through all that. Ugh. Finding your hands in the dream. Focus on them as long as possible. Interesting. What happens? What's 10 hours if it's good? What is 10? Well, it's still 10 hours. I mean, 10 hours of anything is a bit much. Even a good thing. Ugh. But I mean, if it's really good, yeah, then it'll be worth it. So, yeah, I will definitely have a peek in. But I don't know when I'm gonna eventually get through it all. It might take a while. Did you watch the entire thing? Huh. Oh, there's an InfoWars Good Morning show. They do that on Saturday. 9 a.m. CST. Huh. But it replays, so we'll check that out later. You're stealing my slot! They're stealing my slot. InfoWars is stealing my slot. How dare they? Yo, why ain't I getting a Rogan's up from you, Fiber Oats? Maybe you forgot. It's all good, I mean, it's all fine. I'm very happy with the show. Summer is drying up fast. What? Yeah, I mean, well, I wouldn't say that. Drying up? No, it's actually getting a bit more wet. I mean, May was more of a summer than June and July have been. Like, I had really hot days in May, where like that rosemary plant died because of that. I haven't had that kind of heat all summer. But I mean, it's fine. I like this kind of weather better than that I just wake up all cooked every day, because that is actually kind of tedious. Right, but yeah, it is August, of course, and 2nd of August. I don't know. I think it's just going to be more of the same type of weather that has been there all throughout July, so who knows, maybe it'll just suddenly get warm again. That would be kind of nice. Like August, sunny days are usually very pleasant. If they're there, if it doesn't just start raining. And sometimes that happens like an after. As far as I'm concerned, the summer is not over yet, just halfway. Right. Well, I've been going for over 2 hours. I think I'm gonna round out. Yeah. Very inspired today. More of what I do. And I have to say, I have to give myself a little compliment, is that doing the spirit mechanics thing, when I'm into it, I'm really into it. I'm way more focused, better, and more elaborate, and more structurally consistent when I'm doing it. I get less flustered and distracted when I'm doing it, compared to, like, noticeably to me, compared to, say, 7 years ago, when I would try to do this and then it's just like get distracted, like, oh, what was I talking about? Or it's just like trying to put it down and then like, oh, it falls apart. I forget the subtleties. And now it's just like, no, it's continuous. I can just do it. I'm very happy about that, about the stability in doing that process. And I hope everybody out there appreciates that growth in my abilities, right? So yeah, if you really appreciate it, everybody out there, I could really use some support. I mean, yeah, not you, Fibro, you literally just gave me some, so I get it if you don't have it. But I mean, everybody else that likes to hang around, and I mean, that maybe watches me at a distance, I hope those people are not just like, yeah, but you don't talk about flat Earth 24/7 anymore. Like, I'm sorry, it's just, why would, I mean, I get it, but to me that would be just mostly regurgitation, and that's just something I'm not willing to do all the time. Like, I'll address it when it's relevant. I'll address the flat Earth. I'll explain the ideas, I'll explain the issues, the psychological issues of flat earthers, of like how they're driven and all these things. And even with community people, what does it mean? What is this person? What about this flat earther? What about that? Sure, I'll do that at times. It's not at the start of the show though. I mean, because all that community stuff, it's just really non-esoteric and not super inspiring to me. But I mean, I can address it at times. And when I do, I try to make it be useful. Right, anyway. But in the meantime, unfortunately, I have to face like this price increase. It's not gonna go away, and like I can barely get around, and I could really use some extra support just to get around and, you know, get a job. Yeah, I'm trying, trust me. But the problem is like, once I do that, I can't continue this. Like, I won't be able to. I know I won't. Because right now all my energy roots, all my processes are tied into this thing, into doing this and maintaining this spiritually. And if I'm gonna focus on the job and keeping that up, well then all that focus is withdrawn to that job. Like, I wish it wasn't so, but that is what it is. Right? And again, I mean, nobody tells me call it different. There's no point. If I call my show something different, then I could just as well just, okay, stop it then. Just that would literally be the end of the Flat Earth Early Bird series. It is one giant series, one giant development curve, consistent, changing its name just because I don't want to continually talk about Flat Earth is like the dumbest fucking thing I could possibly do. If I wanted to do that, then I could just as do another show and not make it about Flat Earth, even though I'd still probably bring that up. And then shock a bunch of people, why didn't you warn me that you were a Flat Earther? Yeah, because people kept whining to me, don't put the Flat Earth in the title if you're not continually talking about Flat Earth. And then I take it out and then people go, why didn't you warn me that you were a crazy Flat Earther? Yeah, so you can all go fuck yourselves. Seriously. It's never gonna be good enough. Like, why the fuck would I give into a request like that? It's totally pointless. Yeah, and hey, people need to know that underneath all of this, I am a Flat Earther. It is critically important for the overall giant worldview, for the esoteric things fit together, how the pieces all fit together. Flat Earth, that the knowledge that the Earth is flat and that we don't know everything is absolutely vital as a foundation for all the processes that I do. Psychological, cultural, historical, all of it. So no, I'm not gonna fucking change the name. Right, anyhow. Please support me, I really need it. Anybody out there, you want to stay anonymous, that's cool. But, I mean, please help me just get around, get food, have a decent, simple living. That would be great. If I could just keep that up. Because then I could keep doing the show. And I like doing the show. I feel I am actually contributing in a rather unique way. And I won't be able to do that if... Fuck you, retard. Won't be able to do that if I have to, like, work a job just so that I can actually eat. Then I'm not gonna be able to do that. So that's the trade-off. Support me, or I have no other choice than eventually to go away because it becomes unsustainable. It's that simple. It really is nothing but that. Right, so please consider supporting me through the PayPal. Is like the best. That's very direct. To get it immediately, I can like immediately withdraw it and buy food. Right? Or become part of the Patreon. I haven't had a lot of Patreon supporters, but I mean it still works. So if you'd like to do it like that, I mean please become part of my Patreon. If you like my activity. Right, and if you like the super chat system, or you like Rumble, you want to support them more, then yeah, become a member of this channel. Send me a super chat. They get a cut, and you can send a message with that super chat if you like. Right? Would be great if like a lot of people would just do that. In the YouTube days, like 8 years ago, let's say, I had that regularly. I would get super chats multiple times a week. Not a lot, but it would keep going. It would be great to have that here. I see other people getting it. I wish I had more of that. Right? So yeah, please support your local Arwin. I really do need it. Alright. So I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, I haven't really rounded out. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming. Hope you liked this show. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogan's it up. And if you haven't already, follow me here on Rumble and be here when I'm going live, which is normally 2 p.m. Amsterdam time every day. And please also do support me through the PayPal, Patreon, Gifts and Go. Links are in the description box below, or send me super chat over at the Rumble live chat when the show is live, or subscribe to my channel. Support.